Life Warriors, Happy New Year. How are you? Happy 2023. How are you? What did you do this weekend? How did you celebrate the new year? Share with me in the chat. How did you celebrate? What did you do? Did you have some fun? Did you play? Did you enjoy yourself? What did you do this weekend? Did you sit in the house? Did you do some renew and relax? Did you do some pampering? Did you get a massage? Share with me in the chat what you did for New Year's. What type of fun you had, if you had fun, if you enjoyed yourself. Share with me in the chat. Welcome to 2003. So this is our first stress management WellChat of the year. Welcome, Work Life Warriors. How are you? How's everything going? How's your new year so far? Many of us are back to work today. So how are things going? Were you excited to go back to work? Share with me if you were excited to go back to work, if you dreaded it, if you were, if you enjoyed yourself enough where you was like, okay, enough, I'm ready to go back to work. Share with me in the chat. I was excited to get the new year started. I have some big things that I want to do this year, of course. So I was pretty excited. How about you? Share with me how you was feeling. How are you feeling? If you're at work right now, how are you feeling? What are you adjusting easily? Are you adjusting back to work easily? Share with me in the chat. I have 12:02. Want to give them a couple of more minutes. You know, I like to try to keep these within 15 minutes, no longer than 30, because I'm not necessarily sure if you're on lunch or what's going on with that. I'm letting in some natural light today. Um, Probably not so much because it's causing the glare, but uh, I'll fix that later. But I wanted to let in some natural light because it's so beautiful. It feels irregular, right? Like it shouldn't be so pretty outside. It's been beautiful yesterday on New Year's. I'm in Raleigh. I don't know where you are, so share with me in the chat where you are. But I'm in Raleigh, so yesterday, Sunday, was beautiful as well. On New Year's Eve, which was Saturday, it was rainy. It was so rainy throughout the day. It wasn't cold, but it was rainy. And so that interfered with a lot of the plans that I had during the day. But I eventually enjoyed myself. I still went out later that night, even though it was wet. We went to go out and pop firecrackers or really just sparklers. It was kind of wet. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. I have 12:04. I want to give you your time back, so I'll go ahead and get started. So welcome, Work Life Warriors. Welcome. I am Ebony Davenport. Welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. I am Ebony Davenport and I teach stress management. I show people how to utilize fun management solutions to decrease stress and counter burnout so that we could be happier, healthier, and well balanced. I use over 50 tips, tools, tricks, and techniques to manage stress. But today we are going to talk about stress. We're starting a new year, so we're going to start at the top. I have over 50 techniques. So every week, Mondays at noon, I will give you a new tip, trick, tool, or technique to manage stress. So join me here every Monday at noon, and we'll talk about a different topic. Today, we're just going to use this time to talk about stress in general. And then each week, I'll give you a tip, tool, trick, or technique so that relates to stress and how you can manage stress, right? So we're going to start here, and each week you can join me if you need more of a fast pace understanding of stress management and implementing tools. I also do consulting. And if you want to do some group fun, playful sessions, I do stress management well shops every third Saturday. But just for now, we're going to talk about stress today. And then next Monday, we'll talk about stress management. And then I'll start giving you a tip or two, tip, tool, trick, or technique. We'll do a deep dive, and I'll tell you what it is about the tip or tool, trick, or technique, the solution. Let's just call it a solution. I'll tell you how to utilize it. I'll tell you how to sustain it, and I'll tell you how to make it fun, because that's the most important part. When practicing stress management, you want it to be fun. If it feels like a chore, you do not want to do it, and then you kind of dread it. So you want to pick the things that feel good to you, that bring out the best you, that relate to the things that make you happy, because ultimately play is a biological need, and we need to make sure that we are fulfilling all four biological needs: food, water, sleep, sex, and play, right? Just because we are adulting, we are grown, doesn't mean that we stop playing. Especially since there's so much stress, we should be playing. So let's get back to stress. What is stress? We all have different ideas and definition of stress, and there isn't one single unifying definition in literature, right? In Eastern philosophy, stress is considered the absence of inner peace. In Western culture, it's considered the loss of control. Stress differs, stressors vary, affecting people's mind and bodies differently, right? And there are three steps: appraisal, coping, and adapting. So, appraisal. And let's talk a little bit about appraisal and stress. So, stress is trying to control anything outside of your efforts. So, you may praise something that's stressful if you think that you should control it and it's not going the way that you want it to go, right? So, in the stress community, we talk a lot about stress being a relationship between the person's perceptions, needs, abilities, and the conditions of the environment. How we perceive control over our environment causes stress, because perception is everything. So if we appraise something that we perceive to be stressful, then it is the first step in understanding stress, because things that may seem stressful to you may not be stressful to me, depending on our experiences, how we've grown up, our resources. These kind of things buffer us. So stress affects us all differently, right? So I may perceive something as a threat that you don't perceive as a threat, and I may appraise it as a threat and let it affect my body as if it was a threat, even though it's not necessarily a physical threat. And I could be reacting differently, right? Better, in a way that is more adaptive, right? And we'll talk about adapting. The next step is coping. Coping refers to the cognitive and behavioral efforts to manage, reduce, minimize, master, or tolerate the stressor. There are two main types of coping mechanisms. In employee focused coping, people utilize measures that immediately reduce the impact of the stressor by focusing on their emotions, such as denying its existence or withdrawing from the situation. And problem focused coping, people confront the problem head on, examine the stressor and change it, or modify their behavior. So the way you can modify your behavior, uh, depending on what type of stressor you're having, is the adaptive process. And the adaptive stress process can produce either maladaptive or adaptive results. Maladaptive behavior describe behaviors that adapt, modifies, or adjust poorly, and behaviors that produces inappropriate attitudes and undesirable outcomes. Maladaptive coping styles include ignoring the problem and blaming oneself. Adaptive active coping styles involve confronting a problem directly or making plans to address the problem. The adaptation sequence of appraising, coping, and adapting can be an automatic or it can be disruptive. And by automatic response, I mean autopilot. And many of us know what autopilot is, right? Life is the sum of constant adaptation to sudden change or gradual evolution in our surroundings. Sometimes these changes are minor and we can adapt to them without even knowing that it happened, right? We weren't aware. However, sometimes these changes can be severe or threatening. When people must adapt to many changes of varying magnitude, either serially or all at once, the ease and success of adjustment decreases and adaptation becomes increasingly difficult. If the amount of adjustment required is large enough, it may render the individual unable to cope and lead to severe consequences. And I think that is what is happening in our workplaces right now, why you see the great resignation, because so many people are so stressed out that they just want to remove themselves from the environment. They don't want to be there. They don't want to go to what is causing them stress, right? And then from the consequences of how stress affects your body, we see that it is said that over 90% of visits to the doctors are stress related. Stress related. And we know that although we are giving our best self to work, it can be stressful, right? Work is the place where we go, we learn, we add creativity to the world, we become our best selves, we master ourselves, we grow and develop there, right? We create work families if we're lucky, right? And so we want to give our best there. We want to shine there. And in doing so, it is stressful. We have so many demands pulling us here and there. And we need to be able to have the resources to manage our stress, first of all, to recognize when we're stressed, recognize what is stressing us, and then in the moment utilize something from our tool belt to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves first, so that we're able to give our best selves to our family, our community, our job, whatever it is that is demanding something of us in the moment, and particularly our workplace, because working is a big part of our lives, right? A huge part. And working causes a lot of our stress as well, right? So it being a major part of our lives and a major stressful part of our lives means that we have to go out of our way every single day, all throughout the day, to manage our stress. It's not a moment where we can stop and think about it and decide if we want to manage our stress. It is something that we have to automatically do, right? Manage your stress, be diligent about it. Your health and well-being depends on it. Instill a wellness practice and be serious about it. Be serious about loving yourself, taking care of yourself, because if you don't do it, who will, right? You don't want to give so much of yourself and have so little left. You want to make sure that you're filling yourself up so that you can give your best self to your employer, to your community, to your family, to your friends, to all the things that matter to you, to growing and developing. You want to show up and show out because you have the capacity to do so, because you're filling yourself up. You're working on yourself. You're growing. You're developing. You are practicing self-care, self-love, and making sure that you are actively, proactively working to increase your overall quality of life, right? Life is to live. We don't want to exist. We don't want to be on autopilot. Although there are so many challenges that can cause temporary that can cause stress temporarily, we want to make sure that even just that, small amount of stress, we tend to, bringing ourselves back on the other side, so that we're not chronically stressed, so that we're not toxically injecting the stress in, our workplace and other places around us and the people that we love, right? It's our responsibility to manage ourselves, manage our stress, get some stress education, talk to a stress management coach, have someone go over, what stress management is, how it's impacting you, your life, what your stresses are. And then you could track yourself and figure out how to, create a plan that you can stick to, work through, and have a community behind you, right? Because that's the only way to manage your stresses if you get the tools you need and plan to use them, right? And then actively use them. Have a community that is pushing you to use them and having somebody to hold you accountable, right? That's what it's all about, building a tribe, a community of people who understand that you have to be a warrior for your own life. Work is a part of life, and work cannot just consume life. Although we say work before life, work is a part of life. So life is, again, meant to be lived. It's our responsibility to make sure we live it and not just existing, that we play as hard as we work, and that we are managing our stress. There's nothing wrong with doing the work, figuring out what stresses you so that you can be your best self. So that is my time. It is 12:15. I like to give you your time back. I'm not sure if you're on break or lunch, so I like to give you your time back. In the meantime, um, thank you for stopping past with me and having this stress management well chat. Again, I'll be here every Monday at noon, giving you another solution to manage your stress. So join me. Feel free to chat in. You can email me. You can send me a message. Let's talk about it. On Wednesdays at noon, I also do a wellness work break. So please join me. You can come and do some deep breathing with me. Most of the time, it is deep breathing. On Friday is Fun Funny Friday. So come and join us. We do something playful and fun. Sometimes, most times, it's laughter yoga, which is so beneficial to your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, your everything. Come and laugh with us. Like I mentioned, if you want to learn about stress management, a fast way, come to the Stress Management Fun Shops every third Saturday of the month. I have one coming up in January. Check out my information for that. It is a fun, playful way to learn about stress management. We do about 25 minutes of stress management education. And then the next hour and a half is like a party, learning how to implement it into your already busy life and sustain it, and building a community, a tribe of people who you can practice with. It is so much fun. So if you would like to learn how to manage your stress, I give you about 15 solutions each fun shop. So if you would like to manage your stress, please look out for that information and sign up. It's a good time. I think that's it. Laughter yoga for right now. So Soul Laugh Tribe, we are not meeting right now because it's cold. Even though it's not really cold today, it's a beautiful day. This would have been a beautiful day, and yesterday, because we normally meet on Sundays. But it would have been a beautiful day to practice. But we'll be back in the spring. So join Soul Laugh Tribe. And that is it. I am so grateful for you spending your short break time with me. If you have any questions, just put them in a chat, send me a message. I also do personal consulting. So if you just need a little help and you want to go through your schedule and figure out a plan with someone who, you know, this is what I do with a professional, just reach out to me. And I hope you enjoy your 2023. This is the first day back in the work for many. I hope you are enjoying yourself, and I hope that you plan to make this a good week. You're going to play as hard as you work. You're going to manage your stress. You're going to get out there and be the change you want to see in the world. And I will see you Wednesday. So that'll be hump day. So thank you so much for everything, Work Life Warriors, and see you on Wednesday at noon. Have a great day.